principles of leadership that allows leaders to achieve new heights of growth and success. Wayne Smalls is the CEO of L. Wayne Smalls & Associates, LLC, a leadership training and coaching company that uses bridge-building leadership principles that help leaders to create long-lasting legacies as they pave the way for the future leaders that follow them.
Afternoon. Welcome to Leadership Talks with L. Wayne Smalls. I hope you're having a great day today. And if you are not having the best of days, it is still time left in this day that you can turn that around. You can change things by simply changing your attitude, changing your outlook on the way you look at things, and you can make things change for the better. And that's what we're here to do. And today, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to be with you today because I have something important that I want to share with you. And this is what I want to talk about today. I meet so many people that they doubt whether or not they're a leader. And most times people will say, I'm not a leader. And if you know me, if you have known me for longer than a few minutes, you know that that is something that really gets under my skin, because I truly believe that every individual comes to this earth, comes to the table with something unique about them. They bring something special about them to the table. They have something to offer. We all have something to offer. We all have a purpose. And because of that, each and every one of us is a leader in our own right. But for those who still feel like you might not be a leader, I have a few questions for you. We're going to go over some principles today that I want to share, and at the end of each one of those principles, I will ask you one simple question. Can you do this? Can you do that? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into this and get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is servanthood. Leadership is servanthood. If you look at any of the great leaders that you know, whether it's someone that you've seen on TV but you never had a chance to meet, like the President of the United States, or it could be someone in your local church, like your pastor, or someone you just admire from afar, from up close, it doesn't matter, but just someone that you know is a great leader in your mind. Look at that person and ask yourself this question. Does this person truly serve? Is this a person who embodies servanthood? And if you think about it, it's really not that hard to figure out, because if you're a pastor of a church, you're serving your congregation. If you're an elected official, you're serving your community, or at least you should be. If you are the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, you are serving everyone that works for you. So when we talk about leadership, we talk about the influence that we have over other people and how we can inspire people to do great things and wonderful things. We always want to visualize a leader who's someone who is strong, someone who has charisma, someone who articulates well, and all of those things are great, and that's fine. But a real leader, the best leaders, they're servants. Not only that, but they recognize that their ability to lead is based on their ability to serve others. Now, I will ask you a simple question. Can you serve? Do you have the capacity within you to serve other people? Do you feel like you make a great asset to a team by being a person who loves to support, being a person who loves to provide anything that will help the team grow, help the organization move forward, doing the little things, doing things that most people don't even want to do. For example, if you're at your church, if you go to church, if you're at your local church and you're walking up to the grounds and you notice that there's a piece of trash laying on the grass, would you pick it up? Or would you just simply walk by it and leave it for somebody else to come pick it up? If the answer to that question is you would stop and pick up that piece of trash, my friend, you are a leader. And guess what else? Somebody else just might see you pick up that piece of trash, and then the next time they come up on the grounds and there's a piece of trash laying on the ground, because of the example that you set, they just might pick up that piece of trash too. So let's move on. We'll keep this thing going. So servanthood, remember that, servanthood. And if you have the ability to serve, that could qualify you as a leader. Let's move on to the next one. You have to have the ability to allow your purpose to prioritize your life. Now that one could be a little bit more challenging because there are many people that don't really know what their purpose is. And a lot of times you'll hear people say, I have priorities, or I have my priority list and it's in order or it's out of order, but they have a priority list. And if you're really not careful, you can mess this one up, because you really have to figure out what are the most important things to you, what are those things that you need to do to be successful, and what are those things, how are those things going to help people around you be successful as well. So having the ability to prioritize your life, it should come from your purpose. And if you allow your purpose to help you prioritize your life, you'll be well on your way. So what do I mean by that? Each one of us, we wake up in the morning and we have a schedule for the day. We have a list of things that we want to get done in a particular day. So we prioritize those things in order. What's the most important thing? What's the next one? What's the next one? Until we get through the day and see that we either accomplished our list or maybe we didn't. And maybe some of that will carry over to the next day. However, there is a list. There are those things that we have said that we want to accomplish. So how did you come up with that list? Where did the idea of even creating a list come from in the first place? Think about it. When you woke up this morning, did you know what you were going to do first? Did you know what you were going to do after that? Do you know what you're going to be doing in the next hour, 2 hours, 3? Do you know? Have you scheduled out your day? So that's what I mean. Having your priorities laid out for you, and it was driven by your purpose. So me, for example, I claim to be a guy who cares a lot about leadership, right? And I really do. This morning when I woke up, I knew that I had a certain list of things that I was going to do that was going to help me be successful for this day to get me closer to achieving my purpose. My purpose is this. I would like to enlighten as many people on this earth as I can about leadership principles and how they can use those leadership principles to make themselves better, become better people, become better citizens, become better leaders that will help other people to become successful as well. And as many people as I can touch with that message, that's my goal, that's my vision. And I'm hoping that it's millions. So that's my purpose. That's what drives me every day. So the things that I do in a particular day are going to be designed to get me closer to achieving that. So think about that for a second. What's driving you? What's driving you to get up in the morning? What's driving you to go to work? What's driving you to strive for something that you said you wanted to do? What's motorizing that? What's getting you there? What's motivating you? When you can pinpoint those things, then you can better prioritize your days. And that's what this is talking about. We're talking about prioritizing our lives when it is driven by our purpose. So I will ask you a question. Can you spend some time thinking about what your purpose might be? And if you've already identified your purpose, are you allowing your purpose to help you prioritize your life? If you can do that, my friend, you are a leader. And I'll take it a step further. If you're still not sure, I will answer it for you. Yes, you can do this. Yes, you can. All it requires is a little bit of time and patience, being persistent, using your brain cells to think about something. Think about where you're going with your life. Think about why you're here. Think about what gets you going. What upsets you? What makes you angry? Do you want to make a change? Do you want to help cause a change in your community that's going to make it better for everybody? When you start thinking like that, then you can identify your purpose, and then you can better prioritize your life. So let's keep this thing going. Let's go on to the next one. Live the life before you lead others. Now, this one is a little tricky also. We have a lot of leaders out here in front of us, whether they're government officials or what have you. There are people that are already in leadership positions, performing their duties in that position. And sometimes we notice that they don't necessarily practice what they preach. We want to be leaders that live our lives as an example for others to follow. We want to be able to say, I'm telling you to do this because I've done it myself. Or I'm telling you to do this because I know I'm willing to do it myself. I will not ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. Or being a person that says, I want to make sure that everyone that follows me is prepared. Everyone is set up for success. I'm not leaving anybody behind, setting them up for failure. And when you have people that are watching you, and more often than not, you're going to have other people that are following you that you have no idea they're even following you. So we have to make sure as leaders that we're living a life that is conducive to good leadership, having a good environment where we can produce, we can be creative, we can be successful, we can help the organization grow, and we're not setting people up for failure by creating bad examples and really having a situation where you create a toxic environment, because if you're not doing the right thing and then you have a bunch of people around you who are also not doing the right thing, you're creating a toxic environment where production could suffer for that, morale could suffer for that, and then you start losing people. But it's really not that hard. When you're being authentic, and we've talked about authentic leadership, and we'll probably do that again not too far in the future. We'll talk about authentic leadership again. But when you're talking the talk as well as walking at the same time, when you're doing those things that you're preaching to other people to do, when they can see you doing those same things, you just set yourself up for success. You set the entire environment up for growth, production, and people will want to be around you. People will want to work with you, for you, and help you accomplish the mission that you prescribe for your organization. But you have to lead by example. So important. That is so critical. Think about it for a minute though. If you have a leader who you know for a fact this person is not living how they talk, they say one thing but they do something else, how's their credibility going to fare with you? How much will you trust that person? You won't. I wouldn't either. So the thing is, we have to keep that in mind as leaders ourselves. We have to keep that in mind that when we go out on our daily lives, we're doing the things that we do on a daily basis. There are people that are watching us, and we have to make sure that we're creating a positive, good example for them to follow. Now, let me ask you a question. Can you do that? Can you lead a life that is conducive for representing a good lifestyle, what a good leader looks like to others that are following you? Can you do that? If the answer to that question is yes, then you, my friend, are a leader. And if you're not sure, I would say go back to the beginning, go back to the mirror and do some self-reflection and see where you might be falling short in that. And if you have some weaknesses, that's okay. It's okay to have weaknesses, because we all do. Every one of us has weakness. And if someone says that they don't have any weaknesses, I would distance myself from them. I would distance myself from anyone who pretends to be perfect, like they have no flaws, because we all do. And we know that. So that just goes along with what I'm saying. We have to be leaders who are not afraid to let our real side show, but then when we let the real side show, let it be good, let it be positive, let it be something that you will want people to emulate. All right, so let's keep it moving. The next one, impact comes from relationships, not positions. So have you done anything today to either initiate or to grow a relationship with someone in your circle, or maybe someone that you don't know that well, but Have you started a relationship with someone that could grow into something good? I know a lot of people that are shy. A lot of people really don't like to network and really don't like interacting with a lot of people that they don't know. And personally, I used to be like that. And if I really be honest, I prefer to be to myself most of the time. But I have learned over time to be outgoing and go out of my comfort zone and get to know people and talk to them. And the more you do that, the better you get at it. But it's so beneficial when you can do that. And why? Why is that? One, when you're a leader, you have to have the confidence of your people where they feel comfortable enough to come talk to you. They're going to need to talk to you at some point. And if they feel comfortable in doing that, that just makes everything flow better. If you're a person that people, they don't want to come talk to you, they don't know what kind of mood you're in that day, they're afraid you might snap at them, that's not good. That is not a good situation to be in as a leader. That's not a good situation. And when you're the person that's working for a leader like that, that's not a good position to be in for you either. When you're the employee or when you're the subordinate. So we have to keep that in mind. And the relationship should be initiated by the leader. I mean, think about it for a moment. If you're at the top of the pecking order in your organization, how many people do you think are going to come up to you and try to initiate a relationship with you? It's really not going to happen that often, if at all. So you have to take the first step. You have to be willing to talk to people, get out of your office, get from behind your desk, get out of your building and go talk to people, interact with people, get to know people. The more you do that, the more they'll trust you. The more they trust you, the more they're going to like you. And the more they like you, they are more likely to follow you. Ask any salesperson that. They will tell you the same thing. They have to know, like, and trust you before they ever follow you. That's just the rules of the game. That's how it goes. And on top of that, you have to be genuine. You have to be genuine with this thing. You cannot pretend. People can read right through that. So this has to come, it has to come from a place of love. When you're being genuine about how you care about people, it has to be genuine or they'll see right through you. But that's what we're talking about here, being able to have an impact on people. Now, once people know, like, and trust you, now you can impact them in a positive way. It's easy to impact someone in a negative way. That's really easy to do. For some reason, we're just capable of creating a negative environment, making people feel like they're less than what they are. I don't know why that is, but for some reason it just comes easy to a lot of people. But the good leaders and the great leaders, they come above that. They raise up above that and they reach out to people, building those bonds, creating those relationships. I'm not saying being friends with everyone either. I'm talking about creating those relationships that are conducive to being productive, helping the organization move forward, going to the next level of success. That's what I'm talking about here. And it's okay. When people know, like, and trust you, they're going to want to be around you. They're going to want to be friends to a certain degree. Of course, you have to watch that. And that's okay, though. It's okay for people to like you. You do not have to be a leader that try to make everybody fear you and scared to talk to you and all of that. I promise you, if you're that leader, you're not getting the production out of your people that you could get if they did like you, or if they did trust you, or if they did know you better. But it's up to you. But for those who are questioning themselves, I have a question for you. Do you feel like you could have an impact on people? Do you feel like you can really make a difference if you tried? And if the answer to that question is yes, you, my friend, you are a leader. But in the event that you still question yourself there, you're still not 100% sure, let me answer that question for you. Yes, you are. You can do it. All you have to do is apply yourself, put in some effort, put in some time. It takes practice. But you can have an impact. You are here to have an impact. So if you are here to have an impact, that means you can have an impact. The question is that impact going to be a positive one or a negative one? Or no impact at all? And that even takes effort. For you to have no impact at all, that takes a little bit of effort if you believe that or not. But we're leaders. And I know each and every one of you is a leader. And I want you to figure it out. What kind of impact you want to have on the people around you. Let's keep it moving and go to the next one. Leaders must replenish themselves. What does that mean? Leaders get burnt out too. Leaders get tired. Leaders get frustrated. Sometimes we even get discouraged. It happens. We're humans. But that's why we need to take some time to rejuvenate ourselves, get some rest. Sometimes we have to step away from a situation. Sometimes we have to go away somewhere, take a vacation, go work out. I like to work out myself. I like to travel too. But whatever it is that you do that helps you to get yourself in a state of recuperation, that's what you need to do. If you need to, put it on your calendar. Schedule it. Write it in there. You might just take one day and say, you know what? I'm not taking any business calls this day. I'm not taking any emails this day. I'm just going to rest and relax, watch TV, whatever it is. You have to take that time. The leaders that don't, they suffer for it in the long run. They suffer. All kinds of things go wrong. Your health goes bad. Blood pressure goes high. Start losing weight. Unplanned weight loss. All kinds of things. Your body start breaking down on you. Stress is a killer. Stress is a silent killer. And when we take on so much and we try to go, we're hurting ourselves. And I am guilty of that myself. I can be honest about that. And sometimes I have to say, you know what, that's it. Today, I'm not doing anything. I'm just resting. And it's okay to do that because guess what? If you don't, you're going to be forced to do it at some point. Your body's going to shut down on you and make you take a rest. And that's the best case scenario. Sometimes it's worse than that. So let's not go there. We have to take time to replenish our bodies, replenish our minds, recharge our batteries. And guess what? Leaders, we are the battery to whatever organization we belong to. We are the battery. We're the ones that keep things going. And so when we run out of juice, we have to recharge. Otherwise, things start falling apart. Situations go bad, and it just goes bad from there. So we prevent that by taking care of ourselves all the time. Schedule those breaks. Schedule those vacations. Schedule those days where you just do nothing, but just whatever it is you want to do. Chill, relax, watch TV, go to the movies, whatever it is that you do. But we have to take those breaks. We have to replenish ourselves. And I'll even take that to the next step. Jesus Christ, who I see as the greatest leader, the greatest example of a leader that we have, he took breaks. He went away from everybody else. He prayed. And whenever he came back, he was rejuvenated. He was refreshed and ready to go on with his mission. And that's a great example for us to follow. We have to do the same thing. And unlike Jesus, we're not perfect. So we definitely need those times to get away from people. Sometimes people get on our nerves. It's okay to say that. Say it to yourself one time. Yeah, they get on my nerves sometimes. That's okay. That's natural. That's not something out of the ordinary. That's not something to be ashamed of. As a leader, things get on our nerves. We have to deal with these things. It's just how we deal with them. How do we deal with those stressful situations? How do we deal with those people that get on our nerves? And when your battery needs to be charged, that's when you really start snapping at people. That's when you really start looking at things in a bad, negative way because you're tired. So when you're refreshed, some of those things don't even bother you. Some of those things you deal with them just like that, and it's not an issue. But when you're tired, when you're broken down, when you haven't taken that rest, when you've neglected your body, things start going wrong. So that's what we're talking about here today. replenishing ourselves as leaders. And on top of that, we need to teach our people to do the same thing. And we need to allow them the time to do that. And it's all about planning. I don't care how busy you are, you can find time to plan those rest periods for yourself and for your people. Because if someone drops dead on you today, you're going to find a way to keep the mission moving forward, aren't you? So let's take care of our people while we take care of ourselves. That's what leaders do. That's what it's all about. So when you have your vision, when you have your mission laid out, you've articulated all of the objectives for your organization, for your team, whatever it is, make sure they understand these things too. Make sure they know that they're in a place where they're expected to grow, they're expected to excel, they're expected to be successful. When you create that type of environment, when that's the expectation, people, they conform to that. But also let them know that you're there to take care of them. You're there to serve them, to make sure they have everything they need to get the job done. Make sure they know how to have an impact. You impact them, they'll impact others. Everything we do is an example for someone who's following us. And we have to keep those things in mind. So, I'll ask you one more question for today. Do you feel like you understand that there are times where you need to take a break? Do you understand that there are times where you may have to ask somebody else to take a break? Do you understand that if you don't take a break, if you don't take a rest, if you don't take that sabbatical, your body's going to break down on you. Your mind is going to break down on you. You're going to start making bad decisions. If you understand that, then you, my friend, are a leader. And just in case you're still not sure, you're still a little unclear whether or not you can do that, let me answer that question for you. Yes, you can. All you have to do is put in a little bit of effort and time, practice this thing, and I promise you, you can do it too. You are unique, you bring something to the table, and you are here for a purpose. So that's all I have for today. We talked about a few principles. I hope you can apply those things to your life, make yourself better, become a better leader, and then in turn, help someone else become a better leader as well. We install confidence, we empower others, we enable them to do the things that they may not even think they can do, and we enhance them by giving them everything they need to grow. That's what we're all about. That's what we do as leaders. So again, thank you for joining us today on Leadership Talks with me, L. Wayne Smalls. I'll see y'all next time. But before I go, I just want to remind you, check out our website at www.lwayne.smalls. Go there and see all of the great things that we're doing, some of the products that we have. You're welcome to go out there and purchase those products. And I want to send a shout out to all of our sponsors, Mind Power, the heartbeat that fuels the soul, and of course, L. Wayne Smalls and Associates. And we have some other sponsors coming on board. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, you can reach out to us, 910-566-0238. Or you can also hit us up on our website. I just gave you that. I'll give it to you one more time, www.lwaynesmalls.com. Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go out there and do something great.
As they pave the way for the future leaders that follow them. Leadership Talks with L. Wayne Smalls is an inspiring and uplifting show that focuses on the principles of leadership that allows leaders to achieve new heights of growth and success. Wayne Smalls is the CEO of L. Wayne Smalls and Associates, LLC, a leadership training and coaching company that uses bridge-building leadership principles that help leaders to create long-lasting legacies as they pave the way for the future leaders that follow them. Leadership Talks with L.